We go. Yes, let's go. I love when it works. What's up, guys? Hey, it is Monday, December 4th. We are live on Freedom Legacy team page on our team Zoom. Never miss a Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Here we are. Thank you guys for joining live on the Zoom. So great to see your faces. We have a super, super special guest tonight. But first, oh my gosh, you guys, can we talk about November? Holy mackerel. Can we just all give ourselves like well, what's up for November? My gosh, I saw silvers, golds, bronze. I saw bronzes I haven't seen in ages. I saw platinums. I saw platinum ones and twos and platinum threes and platinum blacks and platinum black twos and threes. It was like, are you kidding me? It was just like, will you remember in November, like just how good it feels to like have a really solid month where everybody's winning. There's like literally nobody out. Like if you're not winning in November, like you ain't ever winning kind of thing. Like it's like if you're not gonna like put out the effort, hey, it might not be the right time for you. But what an incredible November. So congratulations to all of you guys. I actually will be getting the reports as we close the month tonight. So real quick, if you're just hopping on live, end of month, some of you guys know we have an elite rep that lets us backdate until like the latest possible time. We're so lucky because I don't think other teams have this. They might, but here's what we have. If you're backdating, we have until 9:59 Pacific, which is on the East Coast. I don't even want to pretend to know. Someone help me. What's that? 1 a.m. almost? 12:59 a.m. Now, obviously, you don't want to wait that late for it to backdate, but we have got until 9:59. So just call it 10 p.m. Pacific time tonight. So it's 5 o'clock now. So at a minimum, we've got over 4 hours after this call's done. You got 4 hours. If there's anybody that wants to backdate, let me tell you, I love that the company gives us grace. Some people have mixed opinions on backdating, but I'll tell you what, when you're the one that's a couple thousand away from that bonus, from walking that stage, you're going to wish you had backdating. When it strikes midnight and somebody says, sorry, it's 12:01, you worked all month, you can't have that, then tell me how you feel about backdating, right? It's easy to say, well, I want, whatever. Just know that I hope it never goes away. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, backdating, November, 4th biggest month in our team history. So that's exciting. Our Freedom Global team history, and biggest month of the year for us as a team, and I'm sure as a company, and so many rank ups. So first I'm going to do the December promos real quick, and then we're going to dive into our presentation, and I'm so excited for this story tonight. In fact, we're going to make this a regular thing, but it's just exciting to have so many incredible people on tonight, and those of you watching the stream, watch the replay, tag your teams on this because you're going to want to hear this story tonight. But real quick, December promos, there's really 3 things to think about in December, okay? The first thing is the promos. You have your bounce back promo, and the bounce back promo is just, it's basically, if you think about, I'm going to modair.com right now, and then I'll just share the screen. But basically, in a nutshell, let me just share the screen. The bounce back promo is just an incentive where if you purchase something, you're going to save $10 now, right? If you purchase one of the collections, you're going to save $10 now, but you'll get $10 to spend later. So it's almost like $20 off. It is $20 off. All right, and so that's the bounce back. There's also 10 days of giving, which started today, by the way. There's a free purchase of swag with any purchase November 4th through 13th. So they're clearing house on all the swag, which is great. But this promotion, save $10 on a free gift now, plus get $10 to spend later. So the gifts are, if you buy any of the Logic collections, which they're down there below, you'll get a free mug and a spoon set with any purchase of a Logic or Logic Creamer collection. And then with any Go Variety Pack, Burn, or Fiber collection, you'll get a free Modair water bottle. Earn a $10 bounce back credit. So the bounce back and the what we call fill your cup promotions, they're one and the same, if that makes sense. So they're getting freebies. they're getting bounce back. So basically they're saving $20 and they're getting they're getting the, you know, the swag, the cup, the mug, and the spoon, obviously. So depending on what they get. All right. So that is the promo that runs. It's live now. It started this morning. It's good through December 13th or while supplies last. Okay. One per account. And there's also on top of it a free surprise swag item they're putting while supplies last. So it could just be anything. Could be you could get a hat, you could get, I don't know, a lint roller. No, I don't know if they make that. You could get a toothbrush, a comb, any of that could just pop into your shipment. So it's just incentives to get everybody to order early in the month before we kind of lose people for the holidays. All right. And then the second thing to remember for December is the rewards program that's coming. And so if we go to the Buzz, this is my one-stop shop for everything Modairs. I go to the Buzz. People ask me a question, I go to the Buzz. Current promotion. So fill your cup is right here. Double daily pay. That was the old one. So here's the fill your cup promotion. And that'll have like your graphics. They always put all the collections that are in it. And then at the very bottom of the promo, they always put shareables. So people ask like, where are the graphics? It's one thing, like we have a VA that our VA like puts that stuff together, but look at that mug. Like I want that mug. And so it comes with the mug and the spoon for Logic. I have a ton of Logic, so I'm always going to be using it. And then here's some Go graphics, save $10. So this is all on the Buzz, guys. All right. And then there's the water bottle, the like shaker water bottle that you get with the Go and all the graphics. So that's something we can run with right now. So for your content, here's some little factoids you can use. These are all story segments that you can use for stories. And just make sure you link it to your page and put it on your stories. Remember to do the sellable stuff on your stories and do more of the curiosity stuff, and more of like the lives and stuff on your main feed, but keep the more of the selling on your stories, and then you can keep updating. All right, guys. And then last but not least is, you guys know that we have a new rewards program dropping on January 8th. There is a call this Friday, and I just got the graphic. So save the date. You all want to be on this. You want to hear it firsthand from the company. You don't want to hear it from me. You don't want to hear it from anybody. You don't want to read about it. You want to hear it literally from the company, because that's the best delivery, because it's very, very exciting. But I love the logic, no pun intended, that goes into the new rewards. It's all about simplicity. I'll give you a couple little, what do you call them? Easter eggs or whatever, real quick. But this call is with Shane Greer, our GM in North America, this Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain, which would be 10 a.m. Pacific, and that is 12 noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. And that's on the One Voice Facebook group. Now, they've been doing a great job of streaming the One Voice into our team page. So hopefully it will be streamed in there as well. I'll certainly be pushing for that. But let me give you just a little Easter egg before we do our awesome interview. The Easter egg that you're going to hear about this Friday is the company is simplifying literally everything. And when I mean simplify, I mean, if I were to try to, you've probably seen some of the memes the company's been putting out, but like if this whole concept of different pricing for everybody has led to confusion. When people are confused and they can't tell the price of something, look, we love saving money. Those of us that know how to max out the system. I mean, I bought a premium legacy account, 30%. I had a 15% discount maxed out. So I had another 15% off of that. Then I had I can't remember. I had a Live Clean credit. And then on top of it, it was a customer account for my mom, for which I ended up getting a double commission. So I was at like a 72% commission. I bought over $1,000 in product, and I calculated I got it for just over $200. Now, the company can't be making money on that. I'm sorry. like nobody's making money on a deal like that. So I understand it. But the cool thing is whatever you hear, whatever you see that's coming up, just know it's all about being viral, requiring simplicity. If you want to go viral, it's got to be simplicity. Spend $150, get free shipping. Share the love, give 10, get 10. Spend $150, get 25. Ooh, little Easter eggs, right? 25 off 150. So the more they spend, the more they get off. Unlimited referrals. So you'll see all these cool little things that they lay out. But most importantly, I want you to know two things. Number one, for our team, guys, any customers, anybody on your teams, the one thing we do not want to hear as leaders, as marketers, as Jusuru people who are here for life, the one thing we don't want to hear is, oh, another change, or the company did this, or the company did. No. We've got a plan. We have a plan, and the plan is anybody that has any issue, they're going to grandfather people in. But what that means is this month, December, people need to max out their 8 items. Okay, so hear me very clearly. Okay, write this down. You got to max out your premium accounts, max out your subscription accounts as marketers, as customers. Get in the system in December with 8 items. Get in the system as a customer, especially a premium customer, get in there with 8 items. Just get in there so that when January rolls around, and you'll see what I mean by in December, but I say that because what's going to happen is when the new program rolls out, and they ran all the numbers for our entire team, basically what they found was something like over 90% of all of our customers and marketers will actually save more money on this plan. But there's between 5 and 10% of the premium. See, there's probably 500 or 600 premium customers on our entire team. And of those 600, let's say, only about 200 of them are at the max, that order the max every month. So some have the premium discount, but they'll only order 1 or 2, $50, $100 to keep it active. But it doesn't, and then maybe once a year they'll place a big order. So they've amortized all these numbers. They've run it up, down, and sideways. I've worked with Todd. I've worked with the company to see where does it impact our team. And I'm proud to say that there's really only a couple hundred people that will be impacted in a way that will they won't save as much. So they're going to grandfather them in by giving them points, and they're going to take care of them. So I want you to mark my words. They're going to be taken care of. I'll be the funnel for issues, for complaints, for anything, or your elite rep. But we have a plan for our team, and it really is for our team because they're sensitive to the fact that there's loyalty with us. We've made promises. Other teams aren't impacted in the way maybe that we are. So I just want you to know there's a plan for those, okay? And so anybody that's going to come to you, just know, all right? So that's all I wanted to say. Sorry for that long intro. I know we needed to do a lot, but I'm so excited to welcome, oh my gosh, my really, really good friend. How long have we known each other, Tony, at this point? Seriously, bro.
2012.
Wow. So over a decade. And it's just, this was I would say one of the happiest moments, I would say just in my career, when Tony popped Elite 1, and it was I was already on cloud 9, and then he went Platinum Black 2, and he was really casual. He's like, yeah, I'm going for it. I had Todd look up his numbers. He was 2 customers away and 300 points. He was like, I'm probably going to hit it. He was literally all over it. Okay. So to have someone like Tony come into our business, have the rare ability to get to work a business with his mother, Dr. Grazina, who we know and love. We love you so much, Grazina. To be able to have a daughter-son business, first of all, and work, for years in 2 separate places. But also, more importantly, to have the impact that Tony is able to make in people's lives is what we're going to talk about. We have so much to talk about, but Tony, I'm going to just introduce you, and everybody give it up for our brand newest Elite 1 Platinum Black 2, Tony Pajunen. Dude, we are so excited you're here, my man.
Thank you so much, David. I'm excited to be here, truly.
Dude, so awesome. First of all, let's start with, how does it feel to hit a goal that you set years ago, but it's just been sort of eluding you? You've been doing great, but you finally hit the goal. How does that feel right now?
It's it's honestly surreal. It was one of those things where I was just I can't believe I actually did it. At this point, I was so glad I did. I mean, I was working my way up. I knew it was going to happen, but it was one of those things like where I actually, and people were also telling me like that's like one of the hardest jumps, like Director 3 to Elite 1. I don't know if that's true, but it certainly felt like that for me. And I just, it was just like a bucket list thing, you know, like I really wanted to get there.
Well,
And
we had a talk on the cruise ship, and it was like, you're like, dude, I'm going for it. And I'm like, I believe you, man. I believe you. And it
yeah,
was true. And so I wanted to call this thing persistence pays tonight, because you're probably already going to know the stuff you're going to hear on this call. Like, it's not going to be any secret, but I want to hear it firsthand from you, Tony. Like, I wanted you
yeah,
to just come on and just literally like just pour into everybody about, I'd love to hear three like really solid personality traits of like what it actually took you through this journey. So start with
yeah,
your story. Like, tell us your
yeah,
story, like how you got in the business, like why are you still here? Like what
yeah,
makes you happy? Like, dude, just
yeah.
give us all the things, my man. I'm gonna let you just roll.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I started in 2012. I was in health coaching school, and my stepfather pulled me into his office, and he's like, sat me down, and he's like, I have something to tell you. I was 27 years old. I had no idea about joint pain. You don't think about that stuff when you're 27. And he's like, I couldn't do this 6 months ago, and now I can. And it's because of this stuff I've been taking. You should take a look at it. And I was like, okay. And he's this no nonsense guy. He doesn't believe in anything. And so for him to be telling me this in his office, like officially, I was like, all right, I don't know what this stuff is. I'm going to learn about it, but I'm going to be taking it because what that did for him, it must be good. So that's when I decided I'm going to be taking it in my life. And I noticed a difference. And from there, I started recommending it. And I realized that the minute that it worked for me, I thought like, well, okay, I'm ready to make a business of myself. And I really thought that everybody who I was going to talk to was going to buy it. Like, because I was like, I'm such an honest guy. Like the minute that I open my mouth, everybody's just going to be giving me their credit cards. And then when I found out that people were like, oh, okay, yeah, your stepdad, that's amazing that that's what happened. But that was it. I was like, whoa, this is actually a challenge. And my mom told me, she was like, she was looking at me and she was like, this is going to make or break this. Like this, he's either going to go for it or he's going to quit at this moment. And the fact that I went for it is why I'm sitting here today. And the first person who ever said to me, thank you, you helped me more than my doctor could, was the reason why I realized that the joy I experienced in that moment was just so profound. And I knew that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life in that moment. And because it wasn't just me like giving somebody a link or giving somebody a bottle and saying, talk to you later, never, it was actually me calling the person, checking in with them every month, hearing them say, I'm not really seeing any result. I'm not sure if this is going to work for me, encouraging them. And finally, when that month came and they said to me, thank you, like this, because of you, because of what you did for me, I am now mobile again. I can, use my joints again in a way I couldn't. That joy that I felt surpassed any sort of monetary gain that I was getting. Like it became about that for me. And it continues to this day be the driving factor. I always tell all of my customers and everybody who I interact with is my first and foremost goal is for you to have a transformation. That is seriously that's why I'm going to be keeping in touch with you. I'm going to be here with you every step along the way to make this work. And then I follow through. And so consistency is something that I want to stress how important it is to, some months I was working, and then I saw that my volume was the same. And I said to myself, wow, I did all that work just to remain consistent, just to remain where I am. But the reason why that happened was that I was actually keeping in touch with people. Getting somebody's reorder is just as important. It's not more important than getting somebody's first order. Because I want everybody to be like my mom, to be like Patty Miner. When I saw her on the cruise just now, she looked better than I had ever seen her. And people are supposed to be looking worse with time. But these people, like when I see them, they look better and better. And you're only going to know that with the biocell if you're on it for 10 years to really understand what it can do in a decade, which FYI, we here in this group understand that in a way that nobody else in Modere does. Because everybody else, they 2017, they maybe have 5 years, 6 years. We have over a decade where we understand exactly what this does. And that's very special to know the long-term benefits, which I hope for everyone. I hope everybody sees that. So for me, that's the most important thing, is for people to get not just the short-term benefits, but to really get that what you're going to be like in 10 years from today is going to be amazing if you stick with it.
Love it. All right.
Yeah.
So two things I want to dive into on that before we lose our train of thought.
Yeah.
You mentioned transformation. What are some of the buzzwords that you say to your potential customers? Like, what are some one-liners if you're talking to an athlete or a model or a practitioner?
Yeah. So you really want to look at what they're committed to. So if you look at somebody who's hobbling around and you think, oh my gosh, they must need the biocell for their joints, and you go to them and you're like, take this for your joints and drink it without even asking them, what are you committed to? They might be committed to their appearance, but you don't know. You just assume because they're limping that they're more committed to, their limp than they are to their looks. So if you're not asking them questions like, what are you up to? Like, what's interesting in you in your life right now? Like, what are your goals and aspirations? And you don't listen to them say something like, well, I just want to look better, my skin, or they might say, I just want to be better at the gym. My fitness is not the best right now, and my knee's been hurting. That's when you can finally speak their language and be like, well, in your commitment to your joints and in your fitness, I know of something that can really take it to another level. And I really like the terminology, another level or transformation, as opposed to this is going to help you feel better. Because if you say better or use comparative words, people are always going to be comparing themselves to the way they were, and they're bringing themselves they're going into the past. What people want is a complete transformation. Like, they want a new sense of self. So like they just want a brand new start. And so using words like new level, transformation is much more powerful, because they're not going to be comparing themselves to the past. They're just going to be there in a new state.
Love it. Okay. The second thing that is so amazing in what you said, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but you should write it down. A reorder is almost more important than even a first order. Woo! That blew my mind, bro. You know why? It's so true, because if they reorder, the likelihood of them seeing success goes like way over the scale, from maybe 50% to like 60, 70, 80. Then that third month, boom, you're at like 90% reorder potential. So that being said, you mentioned something about consistency, but working, almost feeling like it's a treadmill just to remain even.
Yeah.
Talk to us about, why is it so different in our business, where having a stable plateau of a business isn't a bad thing mentally, because we go from momentum to momentum, but how can we flip the script on what's actually the goal here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal, in my humble opinion, is long-term residual income. And that's actually, turns out, a lot of people's goals. Those are the key magic words I tell any potential business person that perks their ears. As I say, this can be a source of residual income for you long-term. They immediately go, huh? The full attention right there, because people are looking for that. And the way you get long-term residual income is you build a base that's rock solid. Like, yeah, I work all the time, and I always tell myself I'm always like constantly working or never working. It's up to me. Like, it's really my business. I choose to work. It's a choice. Not a lot of people can make a choice like I can, but I choose to work because I am passionate about what I do, but I don't have to. I literally could go on a cruise this month and just come back next month, and my business, I would still be making money, because that's what residual income means, because of the work that I've done in the years past, because I have built this rock solid foundation. The people who I work with now, I have such relationships with. I mean, they send me letters. I mean, we have amazing relations. I mean, these people, they're very, 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 very good friends, close. And in order to get there, you really want to build this foundation. And that can be supporting them to remain where they are. When things go too high too quickly, and then and you can't sustain that, a couple of things happen. The first thing is, like I said, we want people to be on this for the rest of their lives because of the transformation that they make. If they only try a bottle because you didn't have time to really talk to them, they're going to drink that and be like, yeah, I tried that stuff and I didn't really see a result. So I guess it doesn't work. Don't even bother. It's expensive. $77. It didn't work. And that's what you actually want to avoid, because that, yes, that's a quick sale, but that's actually negatively affecting the brand. You don't want people going out there and saying, oh, that didn't work. I didn't try. That stuff didn't do anything. On the other hand, you can flip it around like I do. And I say, the internet's full of stories, read comments, that stuff didn't work. And it's because people didn't really spend the time that I'm going to be spending with you to really have it work for you, to really explain why it works. A lot of people are in for the quick sale. I'm not. I'm here to have you have a transformation. So we have the power to do that.
That's huge. So along those lines, Platinum Black 2, you guys, is 30,000 points in your pod. 30 literal 1,000 points in your pod at 36% on your commissionable volume, and company pools and all the things, retreats, all kinds of stuff. But for most people, 30,000 just seems like, oh my gosh, I can't even get 3,000. So you've had this philosophy since you started. One thing that you said was like, oh, I could do this for the rest of my life. That was huge, because it's like so many people they're not even sure what they're going to do next year. And we see this a pattern of certain people, right? They come in, you see them posting, they're all gung-ho, they're all in, then they burn out, and then crickets, right? And then they're on to the next one. You came in with a long-term vision, and something happened in your business where somebody that was kind of just cruising along on cruise control all of a sudden said, all right, this is my year. And had you quit last year, had you quit the year before, this wouldn't have happened. So talk in two things. One is share the story of Kelly, if you would, and if you want to shout out anybody else on your team and stuff like that. But I'd love to hear that story of Kelly and how that kind of went, Dr. Kelly, and how that all went, and how that long-term vision of every customer every year building upon another. So it's not just a $20 sale, it's a $2,500 sale for the same hour.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Dr. Matone, it's funny, my mom actually was the first person to introduce this to her. And she was in her office and she said, you have 5 minutes to tell me about this as I'm injecting your friend with whatever filler. And my mom's like, okay. So this is an absorbable form of hyaluronic acid and collagen. She goes, stop, I don't need to hear anymore. And my mom's like, but I still have 4 minutes. She goes, I don't need to hear anymore. That's amazing. I have never heard of an ingestible, form of HA. This is incredible. I want to sign up. And not only that, I want to be on the scientific advisory board in this company one day. That's how passionately, in one statement. So like when the people know how amazing that is, they get it immediately. So that's how she started. But at the same time, at the beginning, she was kind of, trying it for herself. She wasn't really promoting it because she hadn't really seen how it works yet. And then when she saw kind of results for herself, she was still a little bit sluggish, until one day she injured her. She fell on some ice and she hurt her hip, and she was out of commission for like 2 months. And that's when I came in. and we had talked before, of course, but I walked into her office with my briefcase and all this stuff in my jacket, and I said, Kelly, how much money did you make when you were out of work? And she goes, nothing. Of course, I couldn't work. You know, it was terrible. So I get that. Well, you know, if you had been doing this as a business, you would have had residual income coming in, and you would have had money coming in while you were out. And she told me later that that one statement is what opened her eyes, that this was what she was going to retire with. And now she became she's platinum black one. She has massive volume, and it's, again, I was very consistently working with her through the years, and it's like one of those plants, you know, that you grow and then you finally, it takes like years. And there are plants like this you can grow, and if you don't water it every day, you look like you're doing nothing, but you're actually, without what you're doing, that plant would never do anything. And then years later, it suddenly starts to blossom, and it's this beautiful thing. Well, that's basically what happened with her. And that actually is the kind of that happens in this business. You just have to keep doing the work. And even though you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm still in the same place, I did all this work, that's just because everything is happening underneath. And the relationships that you're building, money can't buy those. Only literally work and time, and you spending the time with the people can. You can't just suddenly, I'm not even convinced you can necessarily do anything besides spend time with these people, develop these relationships. My business wouldn't be the same at all if I hadn't done that. And it wouldn't be as stable. So now she's this doing amazingly, but all of my teams really are doing, they're taking their businesses to the next level, and any one of them can have one of these amazing transformations. It takes one person. It takes one person that they find somewhere, and that can be the thing that brings their business to the next level.
Oh, I love it. You probably, well, you were at the last event. I did my digging for diamonds.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
when we go through that, you guys, we find our freaking diamonds. It happens. Yeah. But it's like, if you quit before our good friend and mentor Darren Hardy says that compound effect kicks in, you miss all the fun. And so even if you're 5 years Modair story and you're still like, I've been trickling along, I've had good months and bad months and stuff like that, even then you could blow up seemingly overnight. Yeah. But all the skills that you've been building, all the relationships you've been building, all the trust with your customers you've been building has had that compounding effect. All right, let's get tactical, shall we? Yeah, let's get into, we talked about the mindset traits. You said, well, the two things I heard, one is obviously consistency. Was anybody be shocked about that? I mean, right? Were we shocked about that? I do have a question on that. The second that I had written down was just really hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like the hard work. But the third that I just took away from what you've said tonight is like, you've got a deeper passion for serving people, for getting those people that like, it changes their life. And you would want that feeling, whether you were paid $1 million or whether you were paid $10. It's like, that is a deeper calling for you that you feel called to. And I think that's the difference between us as a company, as a team, as a culture, then really everything else out there just turns into like dollar signs in a business. Yeah. So that's what I took away from that. But here's what I want to know before we move into tactical. You've been at points in we've all been at points in our business where, let's say we have our lowest month ever, because there's always a lowest month, right? Yeah. And how did you quantify the feelings you had, like, of quit? I guess I could ask you something obvious. Captain Obvious, have you ever felt like quitting? Like, how do you mitigate the tough months knowing that, like, okay, November is coming up? It's like, how do you do that? How's your mindset working, to get there?
It's so interesting because, frankly, me personally, because I've made this about the challenge of the fun, incredibly fun challenge of wanting to see people transform with this, I will say that I really can't think of a time where I was like, I'm going to just throw in the towel, because you guys, we're sitting, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is like gold, but not even gold. This is better than anything that I can possibly think of, because we have a gift of being able to change people's lives in a way that you can't sell somebody a house doing. You can't, trade some gold to do, you or stocks or whatever. To have somebody look in your eyes and say thank you when they're crying, or they're cooking dinner for you for the first time, they're able to do that. And they were literally in a wheelchair before. I mean, that is what has kept me going in this business. And really, yeah, there's been months where the volume has been down, but I have, because it's always been about, that was the driving force. And I highly recommend it. I highly recommend doing this and really finding somebody who you can transform in the world. Because when you do that and you feel what that's like, for especially when they're on it for like a long term, that will keep you going through those months. I promise you that once you hook into that, there's nothing like it. And that's why I would never do anything else, because there's nothing else that I've ever seen that can transform people like the liquid biocell can.
So amazing. It's so inspiring to hear this, because when I first thought about like what you were talking about tonight and what your story and everything, like my mind went to persistence, because when you talk about that, it's one of those catch 22s, because we might spend 2 or 3 hours and follow up 5 or 10 times to get a sale, and then like the new person, and then they make $10. Maybe they're only at like a bronze and they make 18%, and then it ends up being $12, and it's just like, it's like, it's no wonder. But then you're just like, if you just keep going, because year one, it sucks. You're not paid what you're worth. Year 1 and 2, really, even sometimes. And then you're paid so much less. But like, as your pod builds, and as your relationships build, as your skills build, as Jim Rohn famously said, you discipline your disappointments, and you start to, get WTF, what the focus, and you really just get in your groove with this, whether it's 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day. Is there a point when you said like, I'm all in full time, like, or do you do this full time? Like, when did that change?
Yeah. Oh man, I remember distinctly that moment. I was making just enough money where I could quit my job, but it wasn't as much as I was making at my job. So I had to make a decision at that moment. Do I want to do this full time and make less and really count my pennies? Or do I want to keep my job and really be stagnated, because it was really getting in my way? People were calling me, I couldn't answer because I was working. And then I said, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell them I'm not working there anymore, and I'm going to do this full time.
Take this job and shove it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did. And in that 1 month of freedom, where of course, when I wasn't working, I was spending every waking moment working the business. I basically did nothing else in that month. But my business, like, I don't know, it like doubled almost, like it was crazy. And then I started making like even more. It was still like close to the same, but it was at that moment when I realized, oh my gosh, given time, what could I do with this? All I needed was more time, and look what happened in a month. And I will never forget, back in the day, I didn't have my car yet, which back in the day we got from I don't know if we can say it or whatever, but I have a car now, and it's a Mercedes, and we got one, and I remember before that I had to take the bus. I was living in New York, and I was going to like this event where this woman invited me, and I was going to bring my little I still have my little poster board that I made. It was like a science fair board with like information on it, and I was carrying it with me in this bus, and I was all dressed up, and there was nobody at this event. It was like crickets. And I just like was so disappointed. And I was like, man, I spent my whole day off. Like, I was still working full time, by the way, at this moment. And I was my one day off, I had put on my suit, I was doing this. And then I got to the bus station, and I stopped, and I looked at the thing. The last bus had already left, and it was starting to rain. And I was just like, wow. So not only did nothing happen, I'm sitting here, took a cab home, had to spend even more money. But I said to myself in that moment, I was like, as the rain was pouring down on me, it's like, this is what it takes to build a business. And I will remember this moment when I'm later on, and I'm going to tell this story one day.
Oh my
And
gosh, I got chills, bro. I got freaking chills, man. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. So so, but it really, those moments and like the stuff that you learn at the beginning, when you go on your day off, you put your suit on, you go to a professional and they tell you, sorry, I'm not interested. And then that was your day off. Now the next day you have work. That was what really showed me like, I'm in it to do this. And because of that, because you can just get through that period, because everybody has it where they're working full time. And I get it. Like you have to spend your weekends sometimes building a business, and it's not easy. But if you can get through that period of time where you develop yourself and you say, you know what? Yeah, most people are out there sleeping or doing whatever, but I'm here. I'm here with my suit, and I know tomorrow I got to work, but I'm here. Are you willing and ready to do this? No. Okay. Next. And then you find those yeses. Once you get through that period and then you start making the money, and then it just becomes, you get more adept. And it's just like any skill. Like now it's funny, this month I had to remind myself of that, because sometimes I was on the phone and I was like, well, of course they were going to get the stuff, of course. But I just had to remind myself, no, it's because of the training and development that I've had through the years that I've been able to say the things that created this environment for them to say yes. So it's just a period of time where, like anything, the longer that you do it, I promise you, the better you will get. And it's not, again, better, but you will keep having transformations. There will always be another level to get to. And
Love it.
yeah.
All right, let's get tactical with some takeaways. You shared a story, because most of us are sitting here like Platinum Black 3. And I mean, looking at like Tara Lambert, new Elite 2, you look at Barbara Grishka, new Platinum Black 2. This team didn't just break one new Platinum Black 2, which is huge. We broke two. And her and you know each other, and Dr. Grazina and your mom and stuff, and you guys have a similar like work ethic. Let's get tactical, because is it safe to say that, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, but same with you and me, but is it safe to say you're not an influencer?
No.
Do you have tens of thousands of followers?
No.
Do you dance around on TikTok?
No.
Have you ever gone viral?
No.
Okay. Do you have more than 1,000 views on any videos?
Maybe
The one of you singing
not
opera,
really.
because you're so good
Yeah.
at it, of course.
I mean, not on my channel, not like that. Yeah.
But you get my point.
Yeah, I do.
So
I
how
do.
on ever loving earth, if somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, well, everyone's heard of it already,"
Yeah.
what do you say to that? Give us some
Yeah.
tactical stuff of like, how did you do this? Like, take
Yeah.
us through building that pod to Platinum Black 2, because I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, it really does make a difference when you're live with people. So if there is an opportunity for you to set up a table anywhere, like especially if they give you access to a microphone and you can say a few words, that's a key, because if they don't know what it is, they're going to think it's like juice or something. So if you're sitting there on a mic, hey, I got this stuff, it rebuilds connective tissue, it's really, any small little soundbite you can have to a group of people, and you have your little table, that really can make a difference, a huge difference for your business. And also, if you have good signage for that table, like a backdrop, it's worth an investment to have a little bit of like some before and after pictures, some really key facts, like 6,000% increase of hyaluronic acid, things like that you can talk about. They've actually done studies on how the brain operates differently when you've met people in person as opposed to even a Zoom. Like the brain just operates differently. So I know we're an online world and everything's online nowadays, but again, it's not about the flash in the pan. It's about developing strong relationships with people. And if you can do that in person, those people will remember you in a way that they just sometimes don't when you're online. So
in person, what about phone? How much time do you
yeah,
spend on the phone?
Absolutely. So I make it a point to have phone conversations. Again, there's studies out there showing that if you speak with a person as opposed to texting them, the brain responds differently to the messaging. So I get it that again, we can message all you want and do all that stuff, but if you want people to really remember you and to have a connection with people that you're just going to have a long-term business, it really is going to be in your best interest to pick up that phone and use it as much as is comfortable for you. Now you can set
Tony,
your limits, but
Tony, can I just share with you, just because you just said that,
yeah.
what just happened to me literally last week
Mhm.
was I was in a chat with someone and it was a great chat. And it was like we were sitting there chatting. How many times have we done this on social media or text? And we're chatting, and it got to be about 20 minutes. And I was like, this is great. This is going really well. And there was a moment where I'm like, you know what? I got to just pick up the phone. And I went, hey, what's your number? Let me call you really quick. I kid you not. We were on the phone for an hour, but what happened in that hour was so deep and so
Yeah,
profound. It could have never happened on a chat or a text.
yeah,
Not only did she join the business, like she was a big influencer and it helped
yeah,
somebody else out really big time. And it was like she said after the call, she's like, I feel so good now about this decision. I feel
yeah.
so good about, the connection that we've made. So
Yeah.
just wanted to share that with you because it
That's
happened.
perfect. Yeah, that literally encapsulates it because you cannot have that over. See, the thing about texting, I'll tell you right now, when you send a text, you could put the most emphatic emotion and all that stuff into that text message. That person is going to read it in a monotone. You cannot, there doesn't translate the same. When you hear the person speaking, you hear their inflection. It creates something in the body. There's a resonance there that text messaging, they can just create whatever meaning they want out of like the message you sent. It can be misconstrued. It can all sorts of things. But the most important thing that the inflection, that monotone is there in a way that is just not going to serve you long term. This business, if this was all about like just selling something real quick, it would be a completely different thing. But again, we want people to, this is about them having a transformation in 10 years. I am so grateful that my mother is, I don't have to worry about her like I would if she wasn't taking the biocell. Like, well, is she going to have her mobility? Am I going to have to like deal with her walking upstairs? We're running around airports, and you know how many flights we would have missed without biocell if she was like, I can't use my hip, I can't can't catch the plane. We run and we make those planes, we make those connections, we're running through those airports. I mean, this given long term is, there's almost no words for what this does. So that's what I wish upon everyone. And to get people there, it takes human contact. It takes the voice, it takes the phone. And yeah, of course you can text them too. But again, like David said, if that conversation didn't happen, that person may have joined. They may have even stayed on for a while, but there would come a time where they would have to make a decision. Do you go to the next flash in the pan or do you stay where you are? I guarantee you the people who are working with me, they this is more than just a flash in the pan. These people are very, very rock solid. And we have a foundation that was created through human contact and the voice.
It's so true. It's like obviously our relationship is built over a decade, but I look at someone like B, who like I've known now for 5 or 6 years. Roxy, we met on Facebook, and I've known her for like 3 years now. Like any one of these people, Vanessa, same thing. Like, we when you break bread together, when you're in person together, you do build a bond. And it doesn't mean you can like trust everybody and no one's gonna let you down or anything. But like for the most part, the relationships, like I just want to shout out B because she really went above and beyond the other night and ran down to Hollywood, like a 30-minute drive each way, to drop off a bottle of one of our influencers on not on her team, on another team. And she did it just out of the goodness of her heart because she's just so awesome. And that's like how we all sort of support each other. And Shoot, I might have muted you. I'm sorry. But we just love the culture that we have, and it builds long term. But that's the same thing with your customers. Like I totally can relate. So let's move to like kind of the final round here of
Yeah,
tactical. We talked about in-person, phone.
yeah,
Share the meetup story and give us
yeah,
like if somebody says, because look, in person, on the phone, that sounds great. But if someone's not able to spend 8 hours a day and they're trying to maximize maybe their Saturday, or maybe
yeah,
they're very part-time and they've got maybe 30 minutes a day, like how are you
totally.
supposed to meet up with people and do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, again, like you can go on meetup.com. And again, look, I'm gonna tell it like it is. Like when you are working a full-time job, it's going to require at least one of your 2 days off to do something in this business. Okay. So there are gonna be times when you're taking your time off to build a business. That's just how it works. But and I never want people to think like, well, this is so easy, like I can do it in my sleep. Because yes, you can. There are things that you can do, but it's going to take work. And at the same time, it can be done on your half of your time off can be spent doing this business. Half of your time off, you can still have your day off. So you can. That's the great thing about it. You can do it however you want. Now, if you choose to take one of those days off, there's something called meetup.com. Meetup.com is great because there's meetups all over the country, anywhere, even online, where you can meet with people, and you can, whatever you're interested in. Like, are you interested in golf, or are you interested in bowling or comic books, or I don't know, like whatever your interests are, you can probably find a meetup about that. And if you can't, then you can start one and you can have people join it. And in those meetups, like I went to one and it didn't cost, I think it was like maybe a $5 or $10 admission, but the first 25 people were free. So like I think I even got my ticket for free. And I went to this meetup in New York. It was an entrepreneurs meetup. And I just walked around with my business cards. A key is you can also say, I don't have a card. Can I just get your number? I'll text you, because you want to just get them on text messaging somehow. If you develop a connection with somebody, you can build their business with. But I met somebody there and I got his number, and his knees hurt. His name is Tom. And to this day, him and his wife are ordering. And this has like been 8 years, 10 years now that they've been with this. And that all happened because I went to a meetup and I bumped into him. And so that's definitely an access. You don't have to spend money. In fact, really anybody who you meet, if you discover what they're committed to, you have to ask them those kinds of questions. And you can do it without sounding like you're like interrogating them. You just be like, look, what are you up to nowadays? Like, what are your goals? Like, what are you doing now with your life? And if they say something like, yeah, I'm trying to do, my kid has a soccer league, and but I'm trying to like run around, but it's hurting my knees. People will offer you that. And then that's when the point was like, first of all, you want to acknowledge their commitment. Be like, I really get how committed you are to your family and your kids and that soccer league. I actually know of something that could really bring that to another level for you. I mean, take the discomfort you're feeling in your knees and transform it, and bring your mobility back. And then if they say, yeah, they're interested, be like, great. Let me, like, you want to just text about it? We can set up a meeting. We could talk more. What's your number?
I
Great. I'll
love it.
text you.
Okay, stop right there. So that could bring whatever you're doing XYZ to another level and really
Yes.
help transform XYZ. So another level and transform are two of your most successful buzzwords that you have used and developed over a decade that work
Yep.
for you.
In
Guys,
fact,
this is a
yeah.
literal gold mine.
Yeah, in fact, I go out of my way to say this is not just about you feeling a little bit better, or for you to feel, I guess my joints are a little, I don't know. Can I tell? I can't really tell. Maybe it's a little better. This isn't about that. This is about taking your health, your joint health, your fitness, your appearance, even taking all that to another level completely. Do they really get that? And then I say now more than ever, I said, this is a once in a lifetime thing where this comes around. So it's like a key that fits into a lock. This formula, this patent. We work with by the way, I work with a patented liquid. I do not work with a collagen. Kim Kardashian sells collagen, okay? There is so much collagen out there. If you use that word, my opinion personally, you're gonna muddy the waters. This is like, collagen is like trying to bake a cake with just flour. You need all the ingredients to the cake. And even if you knew all the ingredients and you didn't know how many eggs or salt or sugar put in, and you just threw everything randomly together in a bowl, nobody's going to eat that. You're going to throw that away. So I always say I work with a patented liquid that has 7 patents behind it, and it transforms fitness, appearance, and brings your health to a new level.
Love it.
They're committed to. Yeah.
I hope you guys have taken incredible notes tonight. I love this. This has been so good, Tony. I want to ask you one more thing, and then I want to give your mom, if she's still on, an opportunity to be a doting mom, because this is your moment. This is so awesome. And we love you guys so much. All that you've meant for us over the years as a team, as leading the example, as being perfect examples of being the solution, not the problem. And it's like, anytime I ever get a call from you or your mom, it's like you've tried 5 other things to make it right. And it's literally, I know that it's like, that's why I will never not take the call. Do you know what I'm saying? Not like I don't take calls, but I'm saying, like,
yeah, I get
you
that.
guys have got it dialed in. You are entrepreneurs to the bone. You treat this like a business. You are serious. You're all in because you know the potential. But I want you to speak to the person that's been here, maybe as long as you, maybe not as long, but maybe they've reached a plateau. Maybe they're at a place in their business where they're just like, oh gosh, they're praying about it. And it's like, I love that people pray. I mean, gosh, I'm a Christian. I pray. I'm religious, but like, I also feel like sometimes religion and prayers can be an excuse to go do something else, because it's like you're always looking for a reason. But you know what I'm saying? I don't mean to discredit like prayer and spirituality, but like, give me like the words you would say to somebody that like is not quite there yet, and they're just like feeling flustered. Maybe their Black Friday wasn't as big as they thought it would be, or whatever.
Yeah, the biggest thing about that is that all you have to do is keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing the actions. And honestly, frankly, the bottom line is it really will make a difference to examine what is this all about? Is this just to make money? Is this to transform the world? Is this to transform people's health? When you get to the heart of, hey, I can actually make a difference for somebody. I've seen somebody who couldn't lift a jug of water go from that to say, I wish I could just go to the gym one day and just feel normal again. He was a professional bodybuilder or weightlifter. He went from not being able to lift a jug of water to winning the world record in weightlifting for his age group in a year. And it was because I stuck with him. And so if you just look at like, why don't you, that's what this is about. And if you do it enough, if you practice it enough, you are never plateauing, really. You're always growing. Your business may look like it is, but I guarantee you have the same conversation with somebody in 2 years from now that you had today. It's going to be a completely different conversation, because you're going to have 2 years of experience, of beingness, really. And that's the biggest thing, is who are you being in the moment? What are you committed to, first of all, but what is your context? How are you approaching the person? Are you joyful? Do you come to the conversation with a sense of joy, or are you coming to the conversation afraid or in fear, or like, oh my gosh, if you don't get this, then what's going to happen to my business? You really want to look at all that, because there's something in the way. We are all successful, right? There's just stuff in the way of the next level of our success. And we just want to discover those things. And once we see them, it's like a tree that's in the road. and you're going down the road, your car stops and you don't see what's in the road. You're like, why am I not going forward? Most people's reaction is, well, I'm going to press down on the gas pedal harder and I'm going to really make this car go. But that's just going to spin your wheels. You're just going to be in the same place until you realize, oh my gosh, there's a tree trunk in the way. All I have to do is get the tree out of the way, and now I can just barely touch the gas and the car is going to go. And that's the metaphor for every level of our business. There's always going to be another thing that we don't see, that when we remove it, our business is going to get to the next level from there.
Love it, my brother. Dr. Kazina, be the doting mom for a minute. Let's give it up.
Hi, I am so proud of you, Tony. It's a great achievement. But I would like to tell you, I'm so happy because Tony was planning to be a performer, actor, and that's what he was trained for. And I still remember the time when he called me from that bus stop with the rain. And I said, this is the moment. Either he will quit or he will win. I knew this is the moment. And when he decided to continue, and in spite of the very hard work, what he was doing, and this only free day that he was building the business, I knew that he's going to win. However, I would tell you, for everybody, that this business, I don't know, some people are saying, oh, network marketing is so terrible. Network marketing is fantastic. How it develops people. When you succeed in network marketing, you can succeed in any business. You can go, you are so well trained here. You have overcome your fear. You develop your personality. You develop your communication with people. You develop how, how you organize yourself. Because if you don't develop those skills, you can't succeed. So if you succeed here, you can succeed in any business. And this is so fantastic. And any other business, you have to invest a lot of money in order to get trained. Here, we are all getting trained because we are all in a group and we learn from each other, and this is, I tell your children to get involved, because I am so happy that Tony got involved and build his business, because I don't need to worry about him. He is building his golden future. And this is amazing. So and I am so happy that he developed with such a compassion for people. I mean, anybody can call him. If the people need him late at night, he will take a call and he will help. He will help, no matter who. Is it in his group or not in his group? He doesn't look at that. He just is there to help. And I'm very proud of you, Tony. So congratulations. And thank you, David, because you are such a supporter and organizer. Without you, it would be very difficult to move forward. So thank you so much.
Love you, Tony. Dude, you are the man. Totally blew us away tonight. This is gold. I hope everyone will share this or tag their teams. I just appreciate your time, and Dr. Kazina, just for all your years and wisdom and experience, and raising such a great kid. And well, not a kid anymore. He's a full-on, you have a full-fledged Elite 1 Platinum Black 2 business, my man, and I hope it feels good. Enjoy it. I'm excited for where we're going, and thank you so much. You guys have an incredible night, and wow, so proud of you guys. All right, have a great week, guys. Friday, remember, don't forget, on One Voice, also hopefully Freedom Legacy, 1 p.m. this Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and that's 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to hear all about the new rewards program. This is going to be big and important news. So make sure we're all glued to that and we take good notes. Bye, guys. Have an incredible night. Thanks again, guys. Bye, everybody.